fellow wanderers. I'm up with Laith again. We're with Laith. So today we are touring America, visiting Yosemite National Park. So this park was established in 1864 by an executive order by Abraham Lincoln. So look all around. Today's episode is going to have a lot of amazing scenery. So keep watching.
So if you're planning a trip to Yosemite, there are a few things you need to know about the surrounding area. So obviously, Yosemite is wilderness. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Fresno is the biggest city, but there aren't really a lot of towns in the area. So you do need to know that. The biggest places that people stay, about 45 minutes south of the southern entrance to Yosemite are several little towns. A lot of people will stay in Oakhurst. There are a few national hotel chains there. We stayed in an Airbnb in Coarse Gold that was perfect. So I highly recommend the place we stayed. So you can find it on Airbnb with Brenda at Creek Hideaway. Perfect, really big house, everything we needed, and very family friendly. And there was a great base camp for scouting out the area. So you do need to keep in mind, Yosemite is huge. It is over 1,000 square miles. So the things to keep in mind is, when are you going to visit? In the winter, which means basically November all the way to April, there are going to be a lot of the park that is closed. If you are like us and not intense in hiking, 3 miles, 4 miles is probably the max we're going to attempt to do at a time, then winter or the early spring is actually a great time to go because it's a little bit less crowded. And though we didn't need access to all the parts of the park, we found more than enough to do for 3 days. Also, if you didn't want to stay to the south, there are entrances also on the west side. So in the small towns of Mariposa and Mid-Pines, as well as you can actually stay in the park. We didn't really look up what the price is, but it probably books up pretty far in advance.
So just wanted to point this out. This is the parking lot for several of the trailheads. Look at the view right there behind the parking lot. Wow. And look at that. Is that not absolutely incredible? So I am here at Mirror Lake. So the trail to get here is about 2 miles, easy to moderate, some ups and downs, but most of it is kind of paved. So we'll go over, take a few glimpses of the lake and be on our way. So fun fact about Mirror Lake is this is actually the remnants of an ancient Ice Age glacier that's responsible for the reason Yosemite Valley looks the way it does. Kind of cool. And now I'm here at the trailhead of the Yosemite Falls lower. Pretty short, hopefully. I'll let you know in a few minutes how easy it is and if it lives up to its billing. But behind me, that view. So that's Half Dome, one of the most famous things in this park. So here we are at the famous Yosemite Falls. So this is the lower. So yeah, really easy to get here. Paved asphalt path, half a mile, maybe 10 minutes walk. So we actually, we brought a stroller here, so very accessible, but beautiful. Just look at that view. So today we are at Meadow Loop. So it's a 3.5 mile loop Pretty secluded. Looks like this isn't one of the popular tours, but beautiful views of the mountains through the woods. Pretty nice. Flat trail so far. Let you know at the end how it was. So fun fact about this part of the park, the Wawana part, it was actually only added in the 1930s. So it wasn't part of the original 1860 land dedication. So there's actually a little elementary school that we stumbled across, and this is in the far southern end. So if you were coming in from Southern California, from Bakersfield, LA, San Diego, this is probably where you would come in. So after about 45 minutes of hiking, we had to give up. Apparently there have been some really bad storms, being January, and tons of huge trees laying down across the path. So trying to manage that with a baby was a little bit too much. So we are giving up, calling it a day, and just enjoying the scenic walk back.
I did a little research before this trip, but it wasn't until we got to the park that I saw that there's actually an app you can download for Yosemite Park that has all the trails on it, as well as the ability to track your location. So this was super helpful because there aren't a lot of signs for some of the smaller, less popular trails. That really helped a lot, because in some parts of the park, there really isn't cell phone service, so using the typical map applications doesn't really work. But using that Park Service app really does help.
So this is the Mist Trail, hiking to Verna Waterfall. It's supposed to be moderate. It's been kind of uphill the whole way, but amazing views, the cliffs right alongside.
So the trail was a little bit icy, so we definitely had to take it slow. Beautiful, worth doing, but it is uphill, very uphill.
So there's been a lot of snow the last 2 days. So in Yosemite, all vehicles are required to have snow chains. And since I'm not really from a place where I have lots of experience driving, just decided we'll save that maybe for another day. So decided to look around the area for things that might be a little bit more accessible. So here at Lewis Creek, so still covered trail, as you can see behind me, is covered in snow. But there's a little short half-a-mile trail down to some waterfalls. So we did that. There's probably a foot of snow there, fresh, soft, really cool and quiet. With all that snow, it was pretty much impossible to know where the trail actually was, but still had fun. And getting out there, who knew? Lots of snow in California.
The quiet and the just calm and serenity out here, just looking out over the trees and the mountains, was truly awesome. We didn't last too long on this trail, but it was just good to get out and to see some snow. Being in the Middle East, it's not something that happens very often, but good for the soul just to sit and watch and look at that beautiful snow.
So we tried to go up to Luminaire Grove. There's a about 3-mile easy walk down to see one of the 2 groves of sequoia trees, giant sequoia trees in the park, since the other grove in Mariposa is closed after a windstorm in January. But there's about a foot of snow on the trail, and it's getting a little bit dark, possibly a storm coming. So we decided hold off on that for hopefully our next visit to Yosemite. But amazing view right off the side of the road there. Enjoy.
Though there were a lot of things that were closed because of construction and weather, we greatly enjoyed our time. Definitely feel like we got our money's worth. So it's just a $35 admission fee, and then that's good for 7 days. I think it was the most beautiful place we have ever visited. Hopefully, the bits of information and the images inspire you so that someday you make your way here as well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. Stay tuned for the next adventures of